Okay, so for my third one, I'm going with a movie that you only watch sometimes. It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not going to watch this movie if it's not December. However, every December, I cry when I watch It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life is. If I had to pick Citizen Kane as the obvious choice, I'm glad you picked It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Because that is a movie that, yes, everybody knows the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, every media enterprise, if it runs long enough, does It's a Wonderful Life.
Right.
But it is such a powerful film.
It's just that good.
To have tanked at the box office.
Yes, very much. It is similar, and I thought of it when you pulled out Citizen Kane. It's sort of my very obvious 40s great movie.
Yes.
But, I guess not a whole lot needs to be said about it, but it's just such an incredible story about humanity.
It's not often that you get a movie about the impact of one's life, especially from this era, with an attempted suicide.
Yes.
And just shows the true impact of one's existence. I mean, that's why I really do hate that everybody has done a comedic take on It's a Wonderful Life, because it's such a hard-hitting story.
It is, really.
Of really separating your life into moments and being like, well, if you weren't there, what would have happened?
You're right, yeah.
Your wife becomes an old maid who leaves the library.
Yeah.
No! No!
Right. I can't imagine a worse fate for my old maid wife.
No!
Yeah, of course, it's old enough now that it's ripe for making jokes, but like you say, for a movie this old to take on something so serious and so relatable to everybody, it just it really cements it as an all-time classic movie.
It's one of those movies, much like Wizard of Oz, which is not on my list.
No.
That was very much saved and preserved due to television.
Okay.
It's a Wonderful Life did so poorly at the box office, they let the copyright lapse.
Yes, I have
so
read that.
So it aired everywhere at Christmas time for decades, where it was just like, we can air this because we just pay very minimal fees to air this, as opposed to like actually paying for the movie. So there's generations of people who grow up with this, thinking of it as this big Christmas movie, when it just crashed and burned and it was free.
Right.
Much like Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, it's free, we can air this every Halloween, and everyone's like, it's a
classic.
I said it's a classic, and it's like, no, it did. Nobody, they forgot, they changed the name, but forgot to renew the copyright.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It is like that, and it's kind of interesting how that. I mean, it's hard to imagine seeing this in the theater in 1946 and not thinking it's a great movie.
It's my favorite Jimmy Stewart performance.
You are a true auteur to have multiple Jimmy Stewart performances
I need to rewatch Hitchcock's filmography.
Oh, okay.
Because I love him in Rear Window.
I haven't seen that.
I've not seen Vertigo.
Oh, seen that too?
Yeah,
James Stewart?
Yeah, he's Vertigo.
I didn't know.
He's the one with Vertigo.
I haven't seen any Hitchcock movies, maybe.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart's in a hand. I love him in Rope, another Hitchcock classic. Rope is the epitome of when people say Hitchcock knows how to make a boring movie suspenseful.
Oh yeah.
Rope most of the movie is a dinner party, but at the beginning of the movie you see them kill somebody and have to scramble to hide the body, and the body is in the hutch seat at the dinner party.
What is a hutch seat?
Like a storage bench.
Oh, okay.
The body's in the storage bench that they're using as a seat.
Wow, okay.
So it's most of the movie is literally just like having a conversation at dinner. But as the audience, there's a corpse right there the whole time.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty clever.
It's a great performance from Stewart. But I love It's a Wonderful Life. And I can definitely see, if we're talking about movies that make you cry, the impact of one's life.
Yes, well, in friendship, when all these people that were just small characters in his life that come in at the end, I'm here for you. Here's your money.
Now, if I can build off of you talking about a movie about the impact of one's life.
By all means.
I do not have It's a Wonderful Life in my 10.
Okay.
But I have a little movie called Paddington 2.
Oh my.
And as somebody who has not yet let Paddington into their heart...
I haven't yet, no.
Paddington 2 is legitimately the movie about the impact of one's life.
Uh-huh.
Paddington goes away. Paddington gets arrested in this movie. And everybody's life gets worse. Including the people who are just like, Paddington's a menace or whatever. Their life gets so much worse that they then become advocates for Paddington.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Paddington is just making the prison better.
Of course.
Now, in this children's film,
right?
Okay, hear me out here. Paddington has been framed by one Hugh Grant.
Okay.
Who got a BAFTA nomination for his performance.
No kidding.
He got nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the BAFTAs for his performance in Paddington 2. But you want to talk about a movie that makes you cry?
Yeah.
You know the Toy Story 3 trash compactor sequence.
We were both there for it.
Paddington 2 has a very similar scene.
Oh, really?
That brings me to tears thinking about it.
Yeah.
Where basically there's quiet dignity in this. Again, this is a family film.
You're right.
Okay? There has just been a high caliber, high intensity train car sequence.
Okay.
And the train car has been derailed. And Paddington is in the train car as it is at the bottom of the ocean.
Wow.
And the mother of Paddington's surrogate family swims down and, the music builds. And she tries to pull it open. It doesn't open. And there is a moment where she looks at Paddington after trying her hardest. And he just looks at her with the look of, it's okay. He is about to die.
Wow.
They are going to kill this bear. And he's not angry at her.
Stop.
He's not mad at anyone.
Wow.
He's just like, you did what you could.
Yeah.
And there's no dialogue in that entire sequence.
Right.
She swims down, tries to open the train car, and it does not open. And there is no hope. And even in this moment, he is still putting her at ease with acceptance.
Wow.
This is a children's film that you're crying a little bit with me describing it to you. I'm crying saying it. And that's why I will never forgive them for making a third film without the same director, because I heard it's a step down.
Okay.
I heard Paddington in Peru is a step down because the guy who made the first two got given the ability to make the Willy Wonka prequel musical with Timothy Chalamet, which I'm sure is fine if Paul King has made it.
Is that who it is, Paul King?
Yes, but Paddington 2 is legitimately a masterpiece about the impact of one's life.
Wow.
And it's genuinely, it is such a good movie that, like, the only reason I saw this movie, and Paddington 1's no slouch.
Okay.
Paddington 2 just has more moments like that in it that take it up above Paddington 1. Paddington 1 is still a fantastic film.
Sure, yeah.
The only reason I saw this movie, I'm wiping the tears from my eyes.
I know you are.
The only reason I saw this movie is I have not seen the movie The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, yeah.
The one where Nick Cage is playing an actor named Nick Cage.
Oh, yes.
Being, giving time to some rich man who's obsessed with his films.
Yeah.
Pedro. I've
Pedro.
I've seen the clip of Pedro Pascal being like, Paddington 2 made me want to be a better man.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen the clip of them watching it and crying.
Right.
And I'm like, that's really funny. And then I had heard for years that Paddington 2 was like a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes before I knew what that meant. And I was like, well, really? And I sit down and was like, well, I got to watch Paddington 1 first. And Paddington 1 is a near masterpiece. And I'm like, okay. Then once you put on Paddington 2 and you're like, Paddington 2 makes you want to be a better man.
Yeah.
It makes you want to be like, no, I need to be the best in this situation.
Wow.
Because much like It's a Wonderful Life, I'm present for this moment. And I need to do my best to make it all okay.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Paddington 2.
It's really probably one of the greatest underdogs in film history. Hear you describe it.
It's about a little bear who just has a reserve marmalade sandwich under his head.
Yep. And you look at this, and he's just a funny little guy eating a sandwich.
That's why, again, there's no ranking in this discussion. It's free flowing. So when you said It's a Wonderful Life, I said impact of one's life, Paddington 2.
Well, and along those lines, let's pull it back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I don't have how many have I done? 3. I don't have 7 more movies that bring you to tears.
Okay.
So let's just get some of the ones that don't out of the way.
Okay.
My next one is a movie much like Paddington 2. It's called The Witch.
Oh my gosh. He faked me out.
We're going with The Witch.
I forgot he owned this because I brought over the Bad Times collection and he did not grab it. I did not know he had The Witch.
I am all over it.
Okay.
This is one of the best movies ever, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the only horror movie on my list. I think that well, I had The Fly earlier on. I guess that's a horror movie, but this is the only scary movie.
I'm listening. I'm just keeping track of what I've said so far.
No,
so I promise I'm listening.
Oh, you're all on camera anyway. Everything you do is on camera. So, I think that much like death metal, horror movies are always going to be a little bit of a step below the best of a form of media. Because Ben
is a musician, for those wondering, by the way. So if he has a take on music, that is a credible take. It's not like if I said like I don't like music, as I've said before, because I don't like music. But
okay, very good disclaimer there. But so I think that horror movies, like death metal, they can be incredible and life-changing. And I would say that about The Witch, but it's not quite up to the caliber of a non-scary thing, just because scary things are scary. They're never going to be quite as good as something that's not scary. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I think that The Witch is just good enough that it makes the cut for me as one of the best movies ever.
And this is your only horror film.
This is the only horror film.
Because you have told me about movies that scare you more than this movie.
Yes, because I don't think that this movie is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
It is a scary movie that is one of the best movies I've ever seen, which I think is what, it's what propels it. Because it's not... This movie, honestly, it is frightening.
Is it about a witch, or is it about the goat? As somebody who has only seen the poster for this movie.
It is about the witch. The goat becomes an important character to the plot. But the story of the witch is the 17th century in Puritan New England area.
Yes.
And a family of, I think, 5, 2 parents, maybe 3, maybe 4 kids. They are exiled by their, it's not a colony per se, but it's their group of,
gotcha.
It's like a commune kind of a thing. They're exiled, and they have to live on their own in this very rural Puritan New England area. And the little baby of the family is kidnapped. They don't know it's kidnapped. It disappears. They're in the middle of nowhere, and this baby is just gone. And of course, that kind of sets off this chain of events, the chain of horrible events happening that are, over time, blamed on the older daughter of the family, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. I read earlier that this is her debut.
It is her at least mainstream debut, from what I remember.
This is 2015. When was Split? I think that she is younger in Split.
Split, I believe, is 2016.
It must be. But anyway, Anya Taylor-Joy is much better in this film than she is in Split. She does great in this movie, and it also has one of my favorites, Ralph Ineson. I think that Ralph Ineson is a guy who, every role that he's in, he commands it.
I don't know him by name.
Oh, he does lots of smaller parts. This is one of his bigger roles that I can think of off the top of my head. You would certainly recognize him, and you would recognize his voice. He has a very deep, commanding British guy voice.
I did not have. I had an A24 film. I had an A24 film on my what is Ben gonna have?
Oh yeah.
But based on how you talked about it, I had Hereditary listed.
See, that's an interesting thing because Hereditary is definitely more scary than this.
But you think The Witch is an overall better film?
The Witch, I would say, is definitely... I mean, The Hereditary is very good. The Witch, I think, is a better film. I mean, I've always been really fascinated in the Salem witch trials.
Yes.
All that goes into that. I think that witches and the occult are fascinating. And this movie takes all of those things, and it is probably, I think, the best version of that concept put to screen, put to reality, because Robert Eggers, which this was his directorial debut, he put so much effort into the language, the sets, the costuming. It all feels so legitimate. I mean, like we've said before, that to watch this movie, you really need to have subtitles on, even though it's in English.
And I think this is his least favorite of his films.
I've read that before too, which I guess maybe it's his first one, so maybe he sees it as amateur. But I think that it just clearly has so much work put into it. It is scary and intense, but it feels mystical because of the setting. I mean, the subject matter is obviously mystical, but I feel like it is all very believable for such a thing. It is just right on the verge of reality, where it feels like something that could happen, but you're far enough removed because it takes place hundreds of years ago. That it's not as immediate and like genuinely unsettling as a movie like Hereditary, which I think is scarier, but that doesn't equate to it being better.
And from what you've told me about Hereditary, this seems like it's much more of a kind of an even horror film, as opposed to Hereditary, which is kind of just like, from what you've told me, there's really one big action, and then the rest of it really happens in like the last half hour.
The Witch is I don't know if you could call it a slow burn, but it's slowly ramping up in intensity to something that is, I don't even really want to call it horrific, because it's not like something upsetting that occurs. It's just a manifestation of evil. Which is, what this movie is about is an innocent family that one element of it becomes corrupted, and it kind of builds, and then you have the climax where everything has gone horribly wrong, but it's for the, I feel like I'm spoiling the movie, but for do
whatever you want.
For the main character, it's a happy ending, but for everyone else, it's a horrible ending.
You telling me that has sold me on it more.
Yeah.
There's when we enter more gimmicks in this channel, one of the gimmicks is we watch one of the Bad Times collection, and The Witch is in the Bad Times collection.
It is a fantastic movie. I think that apart from being like scary or upsetting or a bad time, it eclipses all of that. It's just an extremely...
look forward to being miserable with you at a future date.
It's just great.
Well, if you're knocking out your horror films, I will knock out my horror film.
Let's see it.
And of course, since it's my pick, if your horror film pick is The Witch, my horror film pick is the original Fright Night.
Oh, very good.
Because it's not terrifying in any way.
Right.
But it's, it has to be a horror film if you're dealing with the premise of my next door neighbor is a vampire who's eating people and no one believes me.
Right, yeah.
Because this movie is legitimately Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man one. Tom Holland, another one of my favorite creatives, because he would direct Child's Play after this.
Oh, yes.
He didn't write Child's Play.
Okay.
But he directed Child's Play. Fright Night is one of my favorite movies for many reasons. One, I love the concept of its entire premise being, what if Rear Window was a vampire? And I kind of love that concept of like taking an already great. It's like sampling a song in music, where like I already take a great song and I turn it into this.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Where it's like, what if I take a great movie and add a vampire?
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that's an entirely different movie because instead of I saw that man murder his wife, it's he's a vampire. I have to kill it.
Right.
No one believes me. And I love this movie. I love all of the performances. It's very campy.
Yes.
It's very campy. I'm not saying this is a serious work of art, but our friend Chris Sarandon from Princess Bride.
Yes.
Again, everybody in Princess Bride, I love them more in other things.
Okay, this is an example.
Chris Sarandon absolutely steals this movie in the way he portrays an 80s vampire because they're trying to show the like vampire mystique, but it's 1985, so he spends most of it in a dad sweater.
Yeah,
and he's like putting women into a trance in a turtleneck, and it's just like, what are we doing?
I don't understand.
That's just my friend's dad. Like that's no one.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment there's a lot of moments in this movie, but my favorite character in this movie is the horror host Peter Vincent, played by Roddy McDowall.
Yes.
Because he really, even though he's not the main character, he's the one with the actual true arc.
Okay.
We go from him being the host who only shows crappy public domain horror films on basic television, who doesn't believe in any of this. He gets rounded into this because, he's going to get paid some money by our main character, and he also thinks our main character really needs psychological help because he's like, you're the only one who'll believe me, and he's like, yes, I believe you. And to see him deal with the concept that now he is actually fighting a vampire, and the scene with that, because you watched this movie with me in the last couple years, where he's got the pocket mirror, and at that moment he realizes that he has no reflection, and that's the moment where he's just like, this guy's a vampire, and now now I'm actually believing in this. And then there's the moment near the end where, what do you do with a vampire? A crucifix, and he holds it up, and Chris Sarandon just like laughs in his face, where he's just like, you have to have faith for that to work.
Oh yeah.
And then for it to come back at the very end, and Chris Sarandon like starts to laugh, but then Roddy McDowall holds it again, and it actually starts to hurt him.
Right.
There are so many scares that are great in this movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment is that, again, it's unspoken dignity where Evil Ed in vampire werewolf form gets mortally stabbed by Roddy McDowall.
Yeah.
And as he's going back through the changes as he's dying, he keeps like reaching out to him because he's like, you can sense he's remorseful. He's apologizing for these actions. And Roddy McDowall is just there with him as he dies. He's not double tapping. He's not, spiteful.
Right.
If anything, he's just showing him pity.
Right, yeah.
Because he doesn't, he's witnessed this, he's caused this, there's nothing either of them can do, so he's just with him as he dies. And that's in a movie called Fright Night.
Yeah.
And I believe the French title is Vampire. Did you say vampire? I think that's what the French version of this title is called.
Yeah, it really is a great movie, and it's a great pick for one of your favorites because it is a classic, like kind of campy 80s horror movie,
right?
But it has lots of really great, clever writing.
Yes.
Interesting elements like that. I was really impressed when we watched it together.
Yes, I gave it a 4 out of 5 the first time I saw it, and when I watched it with you, I'm like, this is actually a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
But it's also it does so many things without trying to be too serious or too silly. I think it's also because, outside of Roddy McDowall and Chris Sarandon, they don't have that many, there's not that many great actors in this film.
Right, yeah.
But even somebody like our main character's girlfriend, she she's not the best performer through most of the movie. Her best performances is after, she's in the trance and then eventually becomes the vampire.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite part is my favorite line delivery from her is one of those, like, if I could clip what makes me like watching B movies, it's line deliveries like this. It's it's right after off screen Chris Sarandon has, begun to turn Evil Ed into a vampire. We just hear Evil Ed scream. And our characters are, like, further down the alley, and they hear this scream, and she just, like, turns back and then turns forward and says, like, "Cut it out, Evil, it's not funny."
Cut it out, Evil, it's not funny.
Yep. I'm like, lines like that are terrible delivery.
Yes.
But it's like, if you're watching a movie like this, that just, like, takes it up a notch of being like, I'm having such a great time.
It's a good time.
Because the last thing I want is someone to be like, we need to go back for Ed. He's just like, Ed!
Yeah.
Stop trying to freak us out. And I'm like, yes, because this is a movie. So then actually it was like, Evil, like, Ed has screamed horribly. No.
Yeah.